Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. Before we have a closer look at all the content, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to take the next step in your game and improve it even more, scan the QR code that is here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtom you can find in the description down below. That will take you to our platform where you can find all our premium guides, checkpoint challenge, tour play, and tournament play. Last but not least, the info box on the right hand side gives you the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1 is a fun par 4 in my opinion, because here we can actually go for an hole-in-one. Playing from front tee allows us to actually go for a rough bump in a crosswind and a tailwind, but you obviously have to have the correct amount of spins. And here we come once again, which you will hear many times in this video, that we come in a scenario where we're going to have to guess a lot because we do not have a good ball guideline. Adjust is max plus 20. I'm using 2 top spin and 2 right spin based on how the ball rolls out. We don't really need the 2 top spin. We definitely need, like, what can I say, like maximum half a bar of top spin, if even that. But it's still safe and we're getting ourselves a short little wedge for the pin. For those of you that do have the possibility to play with 4 backspin or more, which you don't really have with the lower level clubs, but for those that do have that possibility, you can bounce over the bunker if you do not fancy the rough bump. On hole number 2, if we do have a crosswind or a tailwind, I will be playing with my sniper and go for a rough bump. And that's because I do believe that the rough bump is definitely, especially with the sniper that do have a nice ball guideline when playing rough bumps, that do have a very good chance for a drop. Playing with a long iron such as the backbone, if we do have a tailwind as a rough bump, is not really something that I would recommend. I would, if so, recommend to bounce on the fairway before the rough and bounce up towards the pin. But the rough bump is by far the best chance for a drop here, in my opinion. We are very close to min clubs. We're playing min distance with 10% elevation. Ball clips the rough, rolls up the green, and we're dropping nicely dead center for the hole-in-one. For hole number 3, you can see me playing with a quarterback level 7. I'm using all the top spin, which is a little bit more than 3 bars, it looked like, and as much right spin that I can with a quasar. Adjust is going to be mid plus 10. Sorry about that. You can see that in the info box I do suggest a katana ball instead of a quasar. Why is that? It's because the katana will give you more power on the approach, which means that your max club will be closer to pin. It's going to give you more room, and also that it does have 3 right spin, which I do think is helpful, especially if you do have a wind coming right to left. Now, we do have like the 3 top spin here that we're using, and whilst that works, we have loads of room on the second fairway, so there's nothing wrong by using another driver that gives you more top spin. So let's say like even a lower level extra mile with a 4.5 bars of top spin would reach you a little bit longer, and then you wouldn't be that far away from the pin. Now, you know, again, if we would be rolling a little bit further, we would be closer to hole. If we would be having a ball with more power, such as katana, we would be a little bit closer to hole. And that would open up more possibilities here. Now we are forced to bounce on the fairway. I do personally enjoy having a rough bump there on the top left to attack the pin, which is not really that aggressive because there's so much rough to work on that you have loads of room. But again, as we are going so short on the drive, we are forcing ourselves to just go with this type of bounce up play. And for me, this type of bounce up play, especially with a ball guideline that is not fully developed, it's gonna be such a hit or miss, and it's very easy to miss so much that I'm doing here in the video. For hole number 4 here with a crosswind and a headwind, we're gonna bounce on the fairway. and get down the left side of the bunker and the trees. We obviously want to roll far down enough to not have the trees in our view when it's time to take the second shot. If you do have a tailwind and you have the possibility to play with a power fireball, you can go for the small pad that is to the right in the water by the green. You can bounce on that up to the pin. That's an aggressive route, obviously, and the water is most definitely in play with that. But it's a possibility, and for those that do want to take that little extra risk for a possible reward of being on the green, or actually getting a hole-in-one on a par 4, can do so. Second shot, we do have the thorn. We're going to be close to the min line here, so you're going to have to decide for what you want to do. Either you go for a dunk, but the dunk here, in my opinion, is something you're going to have to be familiar with if that's going to be your preferred choice of play. Because the dangerous part with dunk is that if you're not adjusting properly, you may hit the pin, and that might actually roll you out of the green, and then you have a wedge instead of a putt. You can obviously bounce up towards the pin, but the benefit from a dunk on this type of fairway is that the fairway and the green is extremely bumpy, and the dunk is obviously taking that away by us going directly into the hole. So up to you to decide what you want to go with. And obviously we play with a thorn here on hole number 4. We do not play with a sniper. No elevation on the second shot here for the dunk. That's the same elevation I would be doing if I would be bouncing up towards the pin. Take your game to the next level with our Ultimate Tournament Text Guide for the Solar States Tournament, a full 9 of the Sunshine Glades. Comparing Sunshine Glades with the most recent 18-hole tournament, Porthello Cove, this is going to be a much more friendlier tournament with some chances, hopefully some chances for some par 4 hole-in-ones. But otherwise, in general, a fun week, as the Sunshine Glades is, at least, in my opinion, a course that is very enjoyable to play. For those that are looking to improve your gameplay and also have an advantage over your opponent, sign up for our guides. We offer guides, free-to-play balls, paid balls for anyone that do play Expert and Master Division. So if you do want to join in the largest guide community and improve your gameplay, then do so. Scan the QR code here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtom, and you can find in the description down below. On hole number 5, this is a tough par 3 in my opinion, and here we do have a replay that goes with 1 right spin and half a bar of a backspin. What we're looking for here now is to get this ball guideline to be short of the hole, so it's not going to show the rollout, but pointing at the hole. That's obviously a difficult thing to do from this distance, because it's, the ball guideline's position is definitely very subjective from here. Adjust min plus 20. We are using a 20% elevation for this particular par 3. Now, when you do drop down into the sand, you can either compensate for that by using overpower or push up, or you already have bundled that one in your complete setup by, having the aim point to compensate for that, which we do have in this replay. Ball bounces on the fairway, goes over the bunker and rolls down, dropping nicely for the hole-in-one. Hole number 6, we're gonna play down the right hand side here. Sure, you can play left hand side if you would so like, but then you're gonna have to play with a different driver. The benefit from playing the right hand side is that it's gonna make it as conservative as you possibly can, whereof it's a little bit more aggressive on the left hand side due to having to bounce over the water. 3 top spin, 3 left spin, and we're using some curl to push the ball in left. We're using our quarterback, and we are doing a max plus 10, getting to around 300 yards. From there, we're going to play with our sniper. Now I can see we do not have the sniper here on the second shot. We're going to have it there. And we're going to play this one as a bounce over. And it's going to be no elevation here for the sniper. And you can see that I'm playing with no spin. So I'm trying to simplify this second shot as much as possible. For those that do want to go a little bit more aggressive, you can play for a rough bump a little bit higher up if you would so like. Not something you have to do, but it's something that is definitely possible. Perfect ball it is, and it bounced on the fairway up onto the green, and we're missing just left. But this is definitely a good chance for an albatross. Hole number 7, we are going to go down on the left-hand side using the 4.5 bar top spin and 1 right spin. I'm using a navigator because I do feel that there is value in reducing the wind as much as we can, especially for the approach. Now, obviously, you can play with many different type of balls here, but it's my personal choice to go with a navigator in this scenario. Max plus 10 is the adjustment. Simple, center the ball and let the ball roll down the fairway without risking going into the rough on the right and the bunker on the left. On the second shot, we are then looking to play with our backbone, and the backbone is long iron that you do get to upgrade fairly quickly in the beginning of stages of the game. Obviously, if you do have a Grizzly level 7 plus or a B52 level 7 plus, I would recommend to use that instead. And the reason for that is because you do have a better ball guideline and also better accuracy, but especially the ball guideline will then help you not having to guess how the ball is going to bounce here now on the fringe, because that's the difficult part in my opinion. If you're going to have to guess how the ball is going to roll out, you are going to be inconsistent. It's just how it's going to be. So many cases, especially with shots like this, I believe it's definitely way more difficult to drop shots consistently with having a poor ball guideline. Now, we're not endangering anything, we're getting the birdie, but in the end, obviously, we do want to push as hard as we can for an eagle. On hole number 8, we do have a replay that is attacking the pin from the min line. So we here use the P1 min line. So you can see that we're playing with a navigator. We're looking to have the yellow ring to be very close to the rough, or sorry, not the yellow ring, but the red ring there. Looking to use somewhat around 1 top spin and 1 left spin. Ball guideline is then positioned to be going at the hole, favoring the right side of the pin. Adjust min plus 10 from this distance. So making the correct movement here, making the adjustment, and then it's time to hit perfect. Have in mind that if having a higher level sniper like the replay here in the video has, then you will have a good ball guideline. The low level snipers is going to have a pretty poor ball guideline, and it's going to have to be a lot of guesswork when it comes to aiming at the hole. So obviously having a better club is definitely going to be an advantage here, but a perfect ball regardless though is still going to bounce over the water and get yourself a minimum a birdie. On hole number 9, we're gonna play over the water on the left hand side. The reason for that is that it will give us a much safer way to get the eagle, but most importantly, it gives us a very good look at the albatross. If you're playing on the right hand side on this course, you're gonna see yourself struggling immensely to have a chance for the albatross, and it's actually gonna be a much tougher way of saving the eagle or getting the eagle. Max plus 10 is my adjustment. I'm using all the right spin that I can together with all the top spin that I can. So for those of you that do have more top spin than 4.5, I recommend for you to use that, because the more top spin we have, the lesser overpower we can use. And that goes hand in hand as well with using a ball with, if so, more more power. So let's say you play with a power 4 ball or a power 5 ball instead of the power 3 ball Titan that I'm using in the video. You give yourself a chance to start higher up and therefore don't have to use that much overpower. Now, you can decide for 2 ways of playing here. One, you go for the rough bump up there. The rough bump is a bit aggressive, so you're gonna have to kind of know your stuff to make sure that you're actually hitting rough. if you feel uncomfortable with that, then the bounce up is the way to go. And the bounce up isn't bad, but it's somewhat, with lower level clubs, doesn't really give you a decent ball guideline to follow. And I'm saying that every time, that if you do not have a decent ball guideline to follow, we are relying more and more on the luck with our aim, because we can't know for certain that we're actually aiming at the hole. No elevation on this shot, and once again we are bouncing up the fairway and getting ourselves a nice little look at the albatross. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. If you do want to improve your game even more, scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below. Last but not least, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications. Those 3 things will help the channel immensely. Thank you once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in the Golf Clash game.